Welcome to Study Loop.
Hello everyone, so today we're doing chapter 17, problem 28, and this problem asks us to determine the IUPAC namings for each of these following compounds. So if we remember how we do IUPAC namings, so we have to first identify the parent chain and then add your substituents to that. So for cyclical structures, always the cyclical portion will be your parent chain. So here in A, we have a benzene ring. So for A, we have benzene as our parent chain, and then we look at what do we have attached to benzene. Well, we have 4 carbons, but they're attached not in a straight chain, so it's not just any type of butyl group. It's not an isobutyl, it's actually a sec-butyl group. So we have a sec-butyl benzene. Well, now what about for this bottom structure here? Well, once again, we have a benzene ring, and we have an ethyl and a chloro group here. So we can add the benzene as our parent chain. And now we have a straight chain alkane attached to it, so that's part of the parent chain as well. So we have an ethyl benzene, and that's at position 1. But now we have 2 options. We can count, so we can say 2 chloroethyl benzene, or giving IUPAC naming, we know that benzene has, if this is the substituent of interest, so this ethyl group is the substituent of interest, then in accordance to this ethyl group, we have 2 ortho positions, 2 meta positions, and 1 para position. So the proper way of writing this chloro substituent is, well, in respects to this ethyl group, this chloro is meta to this ethyl group. So we have an M-chloroethylbenzene. Now, what about, and sorry, there actually shouldn't be any hyphen in between there. They're not numbers. So what about this one on top here in C? Well, if you remember, your parent chain is the longest chain alkane or cyclical structure normally, but we can actually add something to this parent chain. So we see that this parent chain not only is a benzene, but has a methyl group here. So we can actually add this methyl group to the parent chain, and this is actually what we call toluene. So in respects to this methyl group of toluene, this chloro is para to it. So we have a p-chlorotoluene. Now, what about for D? Well, D is another type of structure here, and the parent chain in this time is not toluene, it's not benzene, but it is aniline. So aniline is a benzene ring with 1 nitrogen at carbon number 1. Toluene is a benzene ring with a methyl group at carbon number 1. So here our parent chain is aniline, and in respects to this nitrogen of this aniline at carbon 1, we have a chlorine group ortho to it. So we have an O-chloroaniline. Now, what about for E? Well, E, we identify that our parent chain here is also an aniline once again. But now this time, our parent chain is aniline. But this time we have 2 bromines. So our bromines are in the ortho meta position, but when you have di-substituted things, we need to number them. So we have, if the nitrogen carbon number 1, we have 2,3-dibromo. 2, 3. How many bromines? 2, so that's di. And what is it? Bromine, so it's bromoaniline. 2, 3-dibromoaniline. Now what about for F? So F, the parent chain is not benzene this time, but now the parent chain actually includes this hydroxide group here. And when something includes this hydroxide group, we call it a phenol. And particularly when a benzene includes a hydroxide group at carbon number 1, we call it a phenol. And what is attached to this phenol? Well, two nitro groups. So we have a nitro at carbon 2 and at carbon 5. So we have a 2, 5. How many nitros? 2, so that's di-nitrophenol group. Now what about for G? Well, G is kind of interesting. So we don't have anything that we can identify as a toluene or an aniline or a phenol. So it seems that for G, sorry, our parent chain truly is just the benzene ring. So we just write benzene. And now, going in alphabetical order, we need to determine what comes first. So we have a ethyl group on the left. We have a propyl group on the right. And then we have an isopropyl on the bottom. So in alphabetical order, what comes first? Well, E for ethyl comes first. So we have a 1 ethyl. We have a 1 ethyl. Then we have a propyl and a isopropyl. So isopropyl comes next, I comes next. So we have a 3 isopropyl. Remember, we're counting now counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And carbon 5, we have a propyl benzene. It's quite a long name. And now what about for H, sorry. Well, for H, once again, our parent chain is just the cyclohexane. Then we have a bromine and phenyl group. Phenyl is just another name for benzene. We have a bromine and phenyl group that are cis to one another. So we need to indicate that in the name. So our parent chain is cyclohexane. And what do we have attached to it? Well, we have cis. We have a 1 bromo, 2 phenyl cyclohexane. Remember, that comes in alphabetical order. Cis 1 bromo 2 phenyl cyclohexane.